You know, the rich don't just make money. They stack the game in their favor so they always win. While most people play by the rules, the wealthy create their own rules to ensure they stay ahead, protecting their wealth and multiplying their money while everyone else struggles to keep up. It's not just about working harder or being lucky, it's about setting up the right systems, making the right moves, and using advantages that most people don't even realize exist. In this video, we're breaking down exactly how the rich rig the system to work for them. From legal loopholes to financial strategies, from who they surround themselves with to how they invest. These are the 15 ways the wealthy tilt the odds in their favor and how you can start playing the same game. Let's get into it. Number 1. Giving away money, but not really. Billionaires donate millions of dollars, and it hardly makes a dent in their net worth. It's not just generosity, though, it's strategy. Usually they set up something called a private foundation or a charitable trust. On paper, it looks like they're giving away a fortune. In reality, they're just moving their money into a tax-free vault they still control. They can donate $100 million to their own foundation and get a massive tax deduction on top of it. So instead of paying millions in taxes, they keep that money inside the foundation where they can use it to pay themselves and their family salaries for running the foundation, invest that money and let it grow tax-free, or donate to causes they want to influence, which often helps their own businesses. It's like keeping money in a secret pocket while making it look like it's gone. Number 2. Borrowing money instead of using their own. Now, when you're a billionaire, borrowing against your own wealth is more lucrative than selling your stocks or real estate. When you sell, you get hit with capital gains tax, which could take 20% to 40% of your profit. But if you borrow against your assets, you can put up stocks or real estate as collateral, and then get low interest on a loan, sometimes as little as 2 to 3% interest. So you get millions in cash, and it's completely tax-free. That's how they fund their lifestyles without ever selling assets. It also opens up the doors for more investments and allows them to pay off older loans, so the cycle can keep on going forever. It's called buy, borrow, die, and it's why the ultra-rich never go broke. Number 3. Building powerful connections. Now, nothing stacks the game like having the right people in your corner and the best connections on speed dial. Friends give you access, and when they're wealthy, you can't even put a price on the opportunities that access can give you. You get to be the first to know about new opportunities so you don't have to compete for it to be a winner. They get insider knowledge, invest in each other's companies, and protect each other's interests. And once you're in, you stay in because you're all in it together, and if one person rises or falls, their network follows them. When you get to the point where other people need to protect you to protect themselves, then you know you've stacked the game enough. You could say that passing down connections is more important than passing down money. That money could disappear, but if you have the right people in your contacts, then you can always reach out to them for help with building that fortune once again. Number 4. Living below their means. Now, the wealthy don't spend money the way that you think they do. The guy flexing a brand new Lambo is probably leasing it. The billionaire who wears the same suit probably owns half the city. You know that real wealth isn't about what you spend. That's not how you hold on to success. Success is based on what you keep and grow. A lot of wealthy people actually live below their means, but on a significantly different level to the rest of the world. So they don't cut back on lattes or avocado toast. Instead, they cut back on their taxes, bad investments, and anything that doesn't make them richer. They buy quality assets, not liabilities. They reinvest profits instead of blowing them. And if they do splurge, it's strategic. A $100 million yacht can be a tax write-off, a business tool, and a networking hub all in one. There's living below your means, then there's spending wisely, and then there's spending in a way that keeps you rich, whether it's through status, influence, or networking. Number 5. Paying less in taxes. Now, nothing stacks the game in your favor more than using financial laws to grow your wealth. Taxes are one of the biggest expenses in life, so wealthy people do everything they can to legally pay less. They don't just file their taxes once a year, they have entire teams planning every financial move to minimize what they owe. They use loopholes like real estate depreciation, offshore accounts, and trust funds to help them lower their taxable income. Income becomes investments because wages are taxed a lot, but capital gains are taxed less. So what do you think you should be focusing on? and everything gets a write-off. If all else fails, they move. They relocate to states or countries with lower tax rates to keep even more of their money. So while the average person pays 20 to 30% of their income in taxes, some of the richest people in the world pay close to nothing. Number 6, investing in more than just stocks. So the rich stack the game in their favor by spreading their money across different asset types. So they always have an advantage no matter what the economy is doing. They never lose everything at once because if the stock market crashes, they've got backups in real estate, business, and other money-making assets. But the average person doesn't have that safety net, so financial crashes can wipe out so many middle-class investors. The rich also have the flexibility to move their money where it works best. If stocks are overpriced, they shift their focus to real estate. If real estate is expensive, they invest in private businesses. They're always positioned to win no matter what the market is doing because they've got the ability to pivot. Number 7, creating a personal wealth team. Now, you don't stack the game on your own, okay? It's too complicated. There are too many players, rules, and obstacles. You need a whole team on your side, and the better your team, the faster your wealth will grow. An entire team of experts is responsible for making sure it's a win. While the average person is out there guessing, the wealthy have accountants, lawyers, and investment advisors working full-time to protect and grow their money. This shifts the advantage completely in their favor because while everyone else is figuring it out as they go, they're getting real-time strategies from people who do this for a living. Like with investing, the average investor makes decisions based on headlines or hype, and the headlines and hype come from the rich. So how do they make their decisions? Well, it's the team of financial advisors analyzing data, trends, and private deals. No matter what happens in the world, they always seem to come out ahead. They aren't playing fair. They're playing with an all-star team while everybody else is playing solo. Number 8, planning for their kids' future. Wealth has to stay in the family long after you're gone. That's how a legacy continues. That's how people will remember you. And if you have all the money in the world, your next goal is your legacy. So keeping money and power in the family for generations will preserve that. They know they have to use legal structures like trusts to control how their money is used for generations. Instead of handing their children a lump sum that could be wasted, they put it all into a trust and slowly distribute that money in a way that protects it from bad decisions, lawsuits, or divorce settlements. It stacks the game because their kids start off life with a massive advantage. While most young adults struggle with student loans or needing decades to save for a house, the children of the wealthy get top-tier education, debt-free opportunities, and access to business investments from day one. They aren't just making money, they're creating a system that keeps their bloodline rich for generations. That is how they rig the game. Number 9, keeping cash for opportunities. They always have to be ready to take advantage of financial crashes and rare investment deals. Keeping large amounts of cash on hand allows you to swoop in and use it in the perfect moment. Cash gives them the power to buy when everything else is struggling. When a market crashes, stocks, real estate, and businesses suddenly become cheap. Most people panic and sell, but this is a game, and the best players are just waiting on the sidelines to buy up everything at bargain prices and wait for the market to recover. When it does, their assets skyrocket in value and they get richer and more influential. While most people fear recessions, the rich see them as buying seasons. It's Black Friday. No matter how bad the economy gets, the rich always come out on top. Number 10, learning nonstop. The world is constantly changing, right? And the people who stay ahead are the ones who keep upgrading their knowledge. This stacks the game because knowledge reduces risk. When you understand how the economy works, how markets move, and how businesses grow, you don't have to guess. You can make smart, calculated decisions based on patterns, data, and strategy. The wealthy read books, take courses, hire mentors, and surround themselves with other high-level thinkers, so they always know what's coming before everybody else does. You can't just play harder than everybody else, you have to play smarter too. Knowledge is the ultimate cheat code. Every new skill or piece of knowledge you gain is another tool in your arsenal, so you can pivot, adapt, and keep on winning. And that's a big reason why we created the Alux app. The idea of compounding knowledge every day, the way your investments compound interest. Every single day within the Alux app, there's a new coaching session designed to help you level up across one of the main pillars of a good life: your financial health, physical and emotional wellness, strengthening your relationships, and your mind. Every month, new expert learning collections are released where we hire industry experts, pay them their exorbitant fees, sit them down in a studio, and have them teach you on camera about how they reach the level of success they have. Now, the annual membership costs about as much as a meal at a nice restaurant. But if you download the app and scan this QR code on screen, you'll score 25% off the yearly subscription. When you're able to consistently compound wisdom, you'll always have the upper hand. And we would love to help you get there. See you on the inside. Number 11, investing for specific goals. Now, investing for specific goals stacks the game in a very specific way. The investments are structured for maximum efficiency. So they're not just there to be there or to have, they're there to fulfill a very specific purpose. And when you're in the game, having these different purposes and goals gives you a straighter path to winning. So if they want passive income, they buy rental properties. If they want to protect their wealth, they invest in inflation-proof assets like gold and fine art. If they want high growth, they invest in private businesses or high-performing stocks. Nothing is done just for the sake of it, okay? Every dollar and decision is a part of a bigger goal. And when they all come together, they lead to financial freedom and ultimate power and influence. Number 12, protecting what they have. How can you stack the game to make sure you never lose, even though the rules require you to be risky? Well, you build up multiple layers of protection. You build a wall that makes your wealth legally untouchable. You protect your money by hiding it. It can be in legal structures like LLCs and shell companies. They invest in ironclad prenups that prevent half of their fortune from disappearing. They don't even leave their money directly to their children. Just like we touched on before, wealth is better protected from everybody when it's in a family trust and multiple people are responsible for keeping it safe. No matter what happens, their wealth stays intact because there's always a safety net in this game. You can't talk about rigging it unless you make sure that if something does happen to you or your company, you've got multiple ways that will save the fall. Number 13, buying things that hold their value no matter what. If you can afford to put money into things that hold or increase in value over time, you create a cycle where you're always financially ahead. They aren't just spending money, no, they're storing it in things that can be converted back into cash at any time. It protects them from inflation. Now, while the average person watches their savings lose value over time, the rich see their wealth grow simply because they own the right things. By buying things that hold value, the wealthy make sure their biggest expenses can also be used as tools to build wealth or to hold collateral later on down the line. It's not just a quick, gratifying thing for now. It's something that's going to help them in the future. This long-term thinking separates the successful from the wannabes. Number 14, having more than one source of income. Now, having more than one source of income doesn't just make you financially untouchable. It does something even more valuable. It removes fear from your decision-making. A lot of people stay in bad jobs or avoid taking risks because they're terrified of losing their only source of income. That fear keeps you stuck. But if you have multiple backup plans for your income, then you can make decisions that are actually in your best interest. You don't have to go into a bad deal, take a low-paying job, or do something that doesn't match your ultimate goals. It gives you momentum, power, and courage. Imagine how much you can do and achieve when you have those things driving you. You'll be able to compound your wealth at an exponential rate. For the wealthy, every new income stream matters because it adds another layer of financial security. And number 15, having the best support system. Now, having a great team is important, right? We already said that. They're the ones who are going to look for the game's cheat codes for you. They're going to know how to protect you, and they're the experts that will give you advantage over everybody else. But all of this, everything we've spoken about, can fall really flat if you walk into an empty home at night. It doesn't matter if you're feeling low and you can take your phone out, and although you seem to have so many friends, you don't feel like you can really call anybody. Your support system is your biggest driver and motivator. With the right family and friends by your side, the hard times will be easier. The difficult choices will make sense, and everything will seem way more worth it. It's so easy to lose this when you're focused on your work and building wealth. It can take years and many sacrifices, and even if you do get rich quickly, being thrust into it suddenly is still hard. You only make it through, and it only feels great when you have people you care about by your side. Now, Alexer, the game has really never been fair, but the rich don't complain about it. They just learn how to play it and get better at it. They don't just work hard, they use systems, strategies, and people to ensure they stay ahead. They invest smarter, protect their wealth, surround themselves with the right people, and set up structures that keep their money working for them, even when they aren't working themselves. So if you want to break out of that system and start stacking the game in your favor, you need to start thinking like the rich do.